Hello, this is the office hour for Oregon State University PDC Pro Winter 2024. This is Zoom number 6, pardon me. The next lesson due is lesson 6, soil mapping and analysis on April 8th, 2024. So next Monday. So we are just coming off of the 2-week break. So I'm actually just recording this without any attendance after speaking to a number of you. That this was going to be fine. I'm just going to do a quick overview of the lesson. I'm actually going to be away on a desert trip for the coming week. We got kind of an unexpected window to be able to get out on a little holiday that we hadn't been able to do over the last 2 weeks. So the timing didn't exactly work out, but hopefully this is going to be all right for you. Feel free to email me with questions. You can also find me on WhatsApp. And I'm happy to answer questions if I do have cell reception where I can. But for the most part, I'm going to be back in office on April 9th on Tuesday. And then I'll be grading and answering all my questions at that point. Do feel free, if you've already finished lesson 6, to go ahead and get started on lesson 7. You can also review office hours from previous cohorts. So the material is going to be the same. The template hasn't changed. You can also check out, I recommend Javin Bernakovich's office hours are online on his YouTube channel. You can look that up through All Points Land Design or All Points Design. And he does really great office hours as well. So if you're feeling a little bit like floundering out in the dark, go check out some of those other office hours. You can review some of the materials for your lesson, and then just keep moving on. Submit what you've got by Monday if you're not feeling completely 100% about the assignment, and we can work out any kinks. Just want to keep everybody moving smoothly along. So as we get into the second half of the course, it was awesome. Okay, so I'm going to go onto a screen share and just bring up the template with the template for the next lesson. Okay, so we'll do a little screen share here. Share screen, this one. So we're definitely going to want to share sound. We have definitely recorded without getting the sound shared. Okay, so going into the template, soil map and tests. I'm going to expand this. I've got the full window. You may not see too much of my face again. Just okay. All right. Okay, soil map and tests. So this is probably after, coming after lesson 5, which is like kind of the biggest, most onerous, one of the bigger assignments of the course, and one of the ones that students struggle with more because the water analysis is quite new to a lot of folks. Soil map and tests is pretty straightforward. There's not even, as you can see, there's not even a survey assignment with it. So if you're feeling a little confused, like, where is everything I'm supposed to be doing? This is it. So soil map and tests. So of course your slide number will be different as you're aware. There's 3 different soil tests to do, some analysis here and some planning, your SWOT analysis, and then questions for me, and then that's it. So local ecology survey is on to lesson 7. So don't, I hope you're not feeling too overwhelmed by this, and especially if you've been able to get started early, that's great. Okay, so here we go. So of course you can update that photo on the beginning image if you like. Okay, so what you're going to do is you are going to go, if you are in the US, you're going to go into the USGS Web Soil Survey. And so all the instructions to do that are here in your discussion. You go to Soil Assignment Resources, Web Soil Survey. I want to double check that they've fixed these links. There is a video tutorial, there's a written tutorial, and then what to do if you're outside of the US. There's a soil map, global soil region, so that might depend. You may have to just Google search some stuff, and you can also, again, recommend it to look at other student reports. Okay, so when you go into the Web Soil Survey, this is what it's going to look like. Kind of read the overview, get oriented, try to get oriented before you get overwhelmed, because it can be quite overwhelming. When you're ready to start and actually get your data and your screenshots and stuff, you're going to be clicking this big green button here. Just a second. Lyndon, hold on, honey. I got another little bit here. You can come watch if you want. You built the whole puzzle. That's great. Okay. So a little pause. We're going to get a few interruptions here. My apologies. Okay. So we're going to go back to the lesson. Pardon me, back here.
So annoying.
I know. What puzzles are annoying?
No.
You want to come sit with me?
It's so annoying.
Okay, you gotta sit and be quiet though. You can sit and watch. Or you can go up and find Dad, okay? All right. So when you're so when you get your information out of the soil web survey, Please don't. This is like,
Mom,
yes.
whenever I leave them there, somebody takes them and put them in the box.
Oh, that was me. Pardon me.
So annoying.
Okay. Well, yeah, speaking of annoying. Okay, you're gonna sit here for quietly, or do you want to go up and find Dad?
I'm gonna go up and find that.
All right. Okay. Tell him I'll be about 10 minutes. Okay. Teaching while parenting. Okay. So when you get your information from the Soil Web Survey, you're going to be able to find all of these classifications and information. If you're getting it from somewhere else, if you're outside the US, you may not have all of these details, and that's fine. Get what you can. And basically, they're giving you it's giving you an overview of what you can expect the physical features of your soil profile to look like. So how deep the water table is, how limited it is to drainage, like so your depth to bedrock, water storage and profile, so how much water that soil can actually hold, whether it's classed as farmland or not. So all of those things you should be able to find some of that information. And if you can't find all of it, that's fine. You're trying, once again, when you're trying to tell a story about your property or your site, and what that looks like. And so just, do your best to describe to us what that's going to look like. Any relevant soil data, maybe that's a map of the soil around your region. It might be a profile, whatever works for you there, what seems clearest and most illustrative. Okay, here what you're going to do is here's your site, a map of your site, and then you're going to pick 3 locations that you're going to take a test soil sample from. So different reasons for taking soil tests. You're planning to build a garden there. It was formerly horse pasture and you want to see what it looks like, or it was in hay production. It used to be in a garden. It was where a driveway was taken up. You're planning to plant an orchard, any of those things. Try and find 3 different sites across your like 3 different types of conditions across your site if you can. Most people can, even on an urban site. You're going to have something like your front yard where you get really high sun exposure, a shady spot at the back, that's just in grass or kind of a dead zone, and then maybe like some gardening areas or something. You should be able to find 3 separate soil sites, no matter how small your site is. And then just fill up the table here. So what kind of microclimate this is, what kind of vegetation, where it is. So whether that's like grasses or shrubbery, ideal if you can name a species, that's excellent. And then an image from where you're taking that sample. Okay, now for each of those 3 samples, you're going to just fill this chart out. And this is a really nice template to carry forward, like if you start doing client work, because it gives you a really nice overview of what that soil looks like. So you're going to follow the instructions to do a soil texture by feel, a percolation test, and then a picture of the hole with a ruler. So just look to the examples and see, like there's some really good examples. Here's soil texture by feel. This is what the pit looks like with the ruler in it. The soil pit, before it's got water in it. So that's all we're trying to see is like, what did these tests look like for you? And then based on your jar test, you can take this little dot and copy it and then paste it somewhere on this image wherever it fits. So which percentages? So you're going to have percentages going all the way up to 100 on each corner, whether it's percent clay, percent silt, or percent sand. So just find it approximately, or find where it fits in there. And then the ribbon or feel test may give you a different result or a different indication. Like you might decide it's more of like a silty clay loam rather than just a sandy clay, or rather than just a silty clay or a silt loam or something. You might find it's a different classification. So you can put those 2 different classifications on the same triangle. These are all, it's not guesswork, but it's all kind of using different information to get an idea of like what the soil is actually about. Now you can follow the different instructions for the jar test. I really liked, let me see, soil testing. Personally, I think follow both. Go take the time and watch both videos. Personally, I found the second one clearer for me. I think Marissa's is really nice and like very personable and it's very clear. but I found this one more straightforward and more precise in terms of like getting the proportions and measurements, just based on the units, because they're using like millimeters, which gives you, of course, more higher resolution rather than using inches and like a fraction of an inch. So that's my, anyway, look, watch both videos. They're both quite short. I can't see, I think this one's under 15 minutes anyway. Okay, but do watch those videos because they're helpful when doing the jar test. You're probably going to want to put like a drop of dish detergent in so that it breaks up any hydrophobicity or like little like lipids inside the soil, that so that'll help disperse it and reduces the water tension, so that all of your particles actually come out of suspension rather than staying suspended because of the electrical interactions. Okay, so then fill out these pieces here, your soil texture results, percolation, feel. Your percolation test and your rate is going to be like inches or millimeters per minute. Probably not, it may be per hour, like if it's really, really slow, like maybe 1.5 inches per hour. Ideally, it's nice to see millimeters per minute, or if you're working in inches per minute is fine. But so you're going to want some unit of measurement per amount of time. That's what a rate is describing. Get your titles in there, make that all clear. And then your microclimate reason tested. You can do a little description of what your soil pit looked like. It was really hard to dig at first, or you know, I had to clear off a lot of organic material or mulch first, whatever that's going to look like. And then you're going to do that 2 more times for the other 2 sites. Here you're going to describe what kind of material you're going to use to build your soil and to do your composting. So whatever nitrogen rich material you might be able to get, horse manure or poultry or rabbit manure, goat manure, whatever. If you're using kitchen scraps, if you can pick up restaurant waste, all of those are good sources of like juicy, rich, this kind of stuff that would rot down and smell is really what you want to think of, because that's the nitrogen coming out of it. Carbon rich is going to be your dry stuff. So, you know, we call browns or crunchies. Leaves can be a good source. They tend to have like, you know, a lot of fluff and not a lot of biomass. Wood chips, shavings, any, you know, woody biomass, prunings, cardboard can be a good source if you've got a lot of it, that sort of thing. And then other resources that could be used for building soil. If you're using like a rock dust, fish or bone meal, blood meal, any of that kind of thing, that can be added into your compost or added into your soil to help balance it or increase nutrition. Compost teas, compost from another source, all of those are good things. So some of your limiting factors for your soil type might be poor or very like slow or very fast drainage. So if you've got fast drainage, you're probably going to have a lot of soil nutrient leaching. If you've got slow drainage, you might have like anoxic or dead zones forming. You can have problems with like fruit trees don't really like wet feet, what we call wet feet, when their roots are sitting in water. So that can be a limiting factor. So things like that. And then think about, like, just go back to your original soil results here from your web survey or from whatever resource you were using. Oh, where's that site? Look at that. And how does that compare? Sometimes it's wildly different. Sometimes they say it's a silty clay and it's actually like a loam, the silty clay loam, something. But just say, you know, how does that compare? Okay. And then this is just going to be laying out what your soil building goals and your plan is for that. Should be pretty straightforward. If you've got areas that you really want to boost so that you can put a garden in, if you've got some areas that need work so that you can get more percolation in heavy rainfall, like if you're getting a lot of flooding or standing water. Or on the other side, if you've got an area with a lot of sand or a lot of gravel that you want to increase like soil holding capacity, then both of those are going to be good reasons for instance, increasing organic matter, building some tilth, getting some more soil biology kick-started there. So just outline what your goals are for doing that. If you're going to be building a compost, that can be a good separate goal. Maybe doing some broad forking, some double dug beds, even building some raised garden beds could be an example, building a hugelkultur. And then just, you know, follow the instructions. When is that going to happen? What are you going to need? And what do you already have on site? Again, there's some really nice examples here with a clear timeline and so on. Okay, now your SWOT analysis. Strengths might be good drainage. Opportunity might be our neighbor has a bunch of horses and they've got a ton of horse manure. Weaknesses might be fast drainage or no drainage. Might be we actually found out that our driveway, right next to our driveway, was like a car repair spot, and so there's probably like some old motor oil. We're going to actually want to get that tested. Threats could be a neighbor that's dumping a lot of pesticides, or there's significant runoff from an agricultural field or anything like that. Okay, and then if you've got any questions for me, drop them here. You can also email me through Canvas. I am finding I'm missing emails that are coming to my Gmail because I'm a terrible oversubscriber. It's my fault. It's my toxic trait. So I sometimes get like 100 or more emails into my inbox in a day, through my regular susan.cosno@gmail.com. If you want to make sure it's going to the OSU PDC Pro folder, put OSU PDC Pro into your subject line. You can also email me through Canvas. You can email both. I don't mind at all if you email both. Whatever you need to do, you wave your hand in the air and get a hold of me. I will probably be mostly offline for the next week or so. So that'll be until about April 7th. I think we're going to be back. Depends on how many lizards we catch and how the desert treats us. So, okay. Hope you guys are all great. And thanks to you that have already submitted your lesson 6. Feel free to move on to lesson 7. That's perfectly fine. Okay. We'll see you all soon and hopefully see you on the next office hours. I apologize if this is kind of not what you were hoping for, but I did my best. Hope it works out for everybody. And like I said, feel free to email me with questions or comments. So, all right.